Well, look who the fucking cat dragged in. I'm back. I'm ready to go, guys. I started a new job recently, and I wanted to get locked in and make sure I was only, serving one master at a time, making sure I kind of settled in properly and was performing in that area before I came back to this. But be well assured, I'm back, and I'm going to be here for a long-ass fucking time. I'm going to be making sure I make these consistent uploads. Try to get 2 out a week for you guys, but come on, man. That's a lot of work, man. All right, without further ado, we're going to be jumping right in. We've got a sick month of June. As you guys could see, Sean O'Malley just got fucked, so I'm not even going to talk about it. We're not even going to think about it. We're just going to keep it going. We're going to keep the hype going. The rest of this month's going to be awesome. We're getting Ilya Tapiri to save us. But anyways, we've got Joaquin Buckley versus Kamaru Usman. Let's go check out this one. Jumping right into the main event, we've got Kamaru Usman versus Joaquin Buckley. Whoever book this matchup, managers of Kamaru Usman, whoever it is, they need to be in federal prison. This was a horrible matchup, probably one of the worst in the division, but then again, Kamaru Usman doesn't really have that many great matchups in the division. I'd say the only one that's actually kind of winnable is Shavkat. So, Ian Gary stomps a hole through his cobblestone knees. Sean Brady grapple fucks him. Bilal probably outboxes him. I don't know who this guy really does beat in the top 5. I don't think he beats anybody. I think MVP beats Kamaru Usman easily. I think his time's past him, and I think that's what we're going to see this weekend. Kamaru Usman got that big knockout last time in Atlanta against Jorge Masvidal. I think it's going to be roles reversed here, and I think the young, hungry, stronger, more powerful, more athletic, faster, you name the adjective, he's better at it. He's going to come in there, and he's going to do what he does in Atlanta, and he's going to put on a show, and the crowd's going to go fucking crazy. I wouldn't be surprised if he starts getting crazy himself. Not going to get into what that looks like. But anyways, we're taking Joaquin Buckley by round 2 finish to end the night off and have a stellar fucking performance. His best performance yet against Kamaru Usman to put him in the grave. All right, next up, man, we've got the people's main event. Thug Rose. She's a tough cookie. Miranda Maverick, the up-and-coming prospect. Can we really call her a prospect? I'm not sure. She loses to, the Aaron Blanchfields and the Jasmine Jazdaviciuses of the division, So I don't really know. I think she's just a step below all those girls, and I honestly think Rose beats most of those girls. Rose already fought, and Aaron Blanchfield looked pretty good. Took 2 rounds off of her. If she does a little bit of the same, takes 2 rounds off Miranda Maverick, she should just get the job done, get the nod. Boring decision, 29-28 is the way I see it. I wouldn't be shocked if Rose takes all 3 and just dominates her, makes Miranda Maverick look levels below. I think Rose's footwork is just going to be superb here. She's going to have a huge edge in the striking and the movement alone. I don't think Miranda Maverick's going to be able to get to where she wants to be. And even if she does get there, I think Rose is going to be able to handle her in those spots. Most likely reverse a lot of those takedowns like we saw in the first round against Aaron Blanchfield. So, man, give me Thug Rose, man. The people's champ, man. Let's do it. Next up, we've got Edmen Shahbazyan versus Andre Petroski. Guys, this feels like a little bit of a trap. I do not want to put money on Edmen Shahbazyan, but it might be calling me, man. I bet on Andre Petroski last time against Rodolfo Vieira when he was the underdog, and I was right. And I think this time around I'm gonna have to go with Andre Petroski again. This is gonna be a real shitter pick, or he's good. Hopefully he gets the takedowns in round 1. He has a grappling heavy game plan. He was getting pieced the fuck up against Rodolfo Vieira, so I hope he doesn't think that he's some type of striker, that he even has an opportunity to strike with Edmen Shahbazyan for more than 10 seconds, because he will get his head fucking blown off his shoulders. But I'm just kind of hoping that he will embrace the grappling game plan. This just feels like the spot where Vegas is going to rob a lot of people this week. I think this is probably going to be the one spot. Everybody's going to be all over Edmen Shahbazyan, which I've seen this guy throw body kicks at Anthony Hernandez in round 3 when he's been taken down and grapple fucked the entire fight. I've seen this guy fucking lose to GM3, which, don't get me wrong, GM3 might be one of the top 5 all time, but I don't know, man. I don't know how I could bet on Edmen Shahbazyan or Andre Petroski and feel good about either of these guys. So I'm probably going to just avoid this one altogether. I'd recommend you guys do the same. Edmund could come out there and have a stellar knockout, or Andre could come out there and just grapple fuck him. I mean, who knows? It's really just going to be whoever looks good on that night, and whoever predicts whatever is going to look like a genius. So I'm going to go with Andre Petroski, but I'm not going to be betting this one. I'm going to stay away from it. 10-foot pole. All right, man. Next up, we got no love. We got Cody Garbrandt versus Raoni Barcelos, and man, Cody Garbrandt feels like he's a lot older than he actually is, and I think he's still got some gas left in the tank, man. I'm going to be real. I think A guy in Peyton Talbot, I think this is a buy low spot for Cody Garbrandt and a buy high spot for Raoni Barcelos, because he just came off of one of the best performances of his career, quote unquote, against a guy in Peyton Talbot who did not look UFC battle tested and ready to go against a guy. I mean, when you have those type of guys like Peyton Talbot that are just very calm and like, there's no freaking out. There's no twitch. Wrestling's a very twitch, explosive sport. And, that was what kind of the opposite of what we were getting from Peyton Talbot. And, he's a very much a stand-his-base type of kid and counter-strike and, not be afraid of fire. But when you get met with a wrestler, it's a little bit trickier than that. You got to kind of have to be explosive like a guy like Cody Garbrandt. You got to have good movement like a guy like Cody Garbrandt. I don't think Raoni Barcelos gets all those takedowns off. I think, with Deiveson Figueiredo getting that finish on Cody Garbrandt, everybody's low on him. I'm going to take the nice underdog money. I don't think I should be getting this. It feels like a little bit of a robbery here because I think Cody Garbrandt is going to have the power to knock out Raoni Barcelos. I think he does have that close, tight range boxing, and he's fast as shit. And I'll tell you what, if Cody comes out and he looks like how he can look, he's going to smoke the doors off everybody in this division. So I'm going to take Cody Garbrandt. Hopefully he's got his timing tonight. Hopefully he looks good on that night. And I think he should just beat Raoni Barcelos. I don't think the takedowns really be there like everybody thinks they will be. So yeah, give me Cody Garbrandt to get this one done. I see him getting a second round, third round knockout, something like that. So yeah, let's go with Cody Garbrandt. Next up, we've got Mansour Abdul Malik versus Cody Brundage. The Marauder, Cody Brundage. I don't know how on God's green earth you could ever pick Cody Brundage here. All I need to see and all I need to do for this breakdown is simply state that Cody Brundage lost to Cedricus Dumas, quit against Cedricus Dumas, got out-grappled by Cedricus Dumas. I get it. Cody Brundage has definitely had a poor mental. I think it's very obvious to see that from his career. I don't think he deals well with aggression, to be completely honest with you. I think if he's good, he's a good hammer, and I don't think he's a great nail. He showed a little bit of overcoming adversity in his last fight and ended up getting the job done. But man, this is Mansour. This guy's got I get it. He also got cracked in his last fight. Didn't look that great either. I don't think either of these guys are that great, but I think the raw aggression and power from Mansour, the athleticism, the wrestling prowess, whatever you want to call it, man, I just think it's raw aggression. He's going to go out there and fucking just stomp this guy's head into the canvas and pop it like a fucking watermelon, and no pun intended with that. I'm serious. But yeah, that's going to be the pick. We're going to take Mansour by finish in round 1. All right, next up, we've got Alonzo Menifield versus Omar Sy. And I'll tell you what, man, this Umar Sy kid, people forget, man, he's a good fucking striker, man. This guy's clean. I think he's going to be the next Carlos Ulberg mixed with, Surreal Gone-esque vibes with actual real grappling. I mean, this guy just seems all around like a very good fighter. And if you think I'm going to take Alonzo Menifield over this guy, you're absolutely insane. Alonzo Menifield's old, over the hill, and never was good, to be honest. I did pick him in his last fight to beat whoever the fuck that was, some random jobber, and he struggled real bad with him. So I think a guy in Umar Sy who's much more polished, who has the finishing instinct, who has the grappling, who has the striking, who's technical, who's just got it all, he's going to go out there and just fucking dominate Alonzo Menifield from bell to bell. I don't see Alonzo Menifield having any success. I expect probably a second round finish from Umar Sy. I see him taking his time with him in the first round, giving Alonzo Menifield his flowers, having a little bit of respect, because Alonzo does have some power. I think his name's the Atomic Bomb or something. I don't know. But anyways, Umar Sy should just go out there and beat this guy. This kid's real good, so keep a lookout for him. He's going to have a nice performance here. So yeah, next up. All right, bro. I'm just going to come out and straight up fucking do it, man. I'm picking Paul Craig. Everybody else is scared to do it. Who is this Rodolfo Bellato guy, man? Every time I see this guy fight, he's getting his ass whooped. And he just feels like, you just look at his head, you look at him, he just looks like that type of guy to go out there and get subbed by Paul Craig. He looks stupid. He just was, battling a herpes outbreak or something last week, which is why he wasn't able to fight, or I don't know, something, or his last fight. I don't know what the case scenario was. But anyways, my mind's changed a little bit on this fight. I think Paul Craig's going to go out there and pull some veteran savvy triangle choke on this guy. I think he's going to get his ass whooped, and Rodolfo's going to fall him to the ground and be striking, banging on his head, and I think Paul Craig's going to get it done, man. I don't care. I'm picking Paul Craig. I don't know who this Rodolfo Bellato guy is. Doesn't ring a bell. Next up, Michael Chiesa versus Court McGee, and let me tell you, man, I'm fucking tempted to take Court McGee here. I'm fucking tempted to take this guy. Something in the air is just telling me Michael Chiesa is, they're kind of setting him up. They're setting him up for a nice, little hat trick, run off into the commentator booth after this and talk about how great you are and just, ride off on his high horse. Man, I don't think it's going to be that simple. Man, I get it. Michael Chiesa looked like a fucking speed demon in his last fight. I don't know what that shit was, man. He looked good. Now, that's the best I've ever seen Chiesa look. I'm not even going to lie. But I think the physicality of Court McGee, I think the veteran savvy, I think Court McGee's locked in here, man. I think if you look at the guys that Court McGee's beating, he's beating these grapplers, man. He's beating the Ramaj Brahimaj. He's beating the Tim Means, man. Tim Means, I'm pretty sure, yeah. Man, he's beating these guys. I think he's going to beat Chiesa too. I think Chiesa's going to run into a brick wall when he shoots and he gets in on Court McGee's hips. He's going to fucking feel it. This guy ain't no welterweight, man. This guy's a fucking... I guess he is a welterweight. I guess they're fighting a welterweight. Oh my god, he's a fucking brick wall, bro. Court McGee's the fucking man. So we're gonna go with Court McGee here. Trust me, I've done my film study on this fight. I absolutely know that Court McGee's gonna win it. This isn't purely just vibes. We're going with Court McGee here to get the job done against Michael Chiesa via decision. Alright, next up we've got Malcolm Wellmaker versus Chris Moutinho. I think that's his name. Let's see, who's this kid? Chris Moutinho. Yeah, man, Chris Moutinho, the guy that everybody knows from O'Malley, just beating his fucking head in like a basketball for however long he did that for. And, everybody knows Malcolm Wellmaker. He popped onto the scene, knocking out Cameron Simon. Major, super impressive performance. This kid hits different. He's in the ATL, man. He's in his hometown. Give this kid the knockout already. He's fucking flatlining Chris Moutinho. I don't know. I don't care, man. And welcome, Malcolm Wellmaker. Welcome to the big show. Welcome to the ATL, brother. He's getting it done. Malcolm Wellmaker by KO. Round 1, round 2, pick it. Who cares? Flip the coin. That's what it's going to be. All right, we've got a sneaky good matchup here. We've got Cody Jourdain versus Jose Ochoa. And, people forget, man, Cody Jourdain... this isn't Joshua Van. Let's just go ahead and state that right now. Obviously Cody Jourdain's going to be coming out there looking to wrestle. Jose Ochoa has got the capoeira. He's got the movement. He's got that ring generalmanship, however the fuck you say it, man. Jose Ochoa looks good, man. He does. I'm not going to lie. Looked a little low volume. I think that could actually pay dividends here against the guy in Cody Jourdain. But, if he doesn't get that striking off and he doesn't make Cody Jourdain respect him, I think Cody Jourdain's going to run away with this shit, man. I think he really is. I think, the grappling, like I said, this isn't Joshua Van. If you're going to sit here and tell me that Jose Ochoa has got better hips than Joshua Van, which we already know Cody Jourdain's kind of a double leg takedown, single leg type of guy. So if you're going to sit here and tell me that this Jose Ochoa kid has got better hips than Josh Van, I just wouldn't believe it. And even Cody Jourdain still got that round on Joshua Van, still took him down that first round. So I'm gonna trust Cody. I'm not done believing in him yet. He hasn't evolved at all. His game hasn't evolved. But a young guy in Jose Ochoa, likely to make mistakes, likely to overswing. This isn't a guy in Joshua Van who's young and still has a lot of experience for being as young as he is. I think this Jose Ochoa kid could be something, but I don't think it's today, and I don't think it's now. I don't think it's this Saturday in the ATL against Cody Jourdain, man. I think Cody Jourdain's going to go out there and shoot 10, 15 takedowns and, hopefully learn from his last fight. He showed really low fight IQ against Joshua Van, but I just think he felt smothered against, when you shoot in on Josh Van, you feel those hips, man. That guy's a fucking, he's a problem. So, I'm going to give Cody Jourdain one last chance. And if he can't beat Jose Ochoa, then get him out of here, man. I'd like to see Cody Jourdain this be his last fight if he doesn't get this one done. So backs against the wall for Cody Jourdain. I think he pulls through and gets a nice little decision win for himself. 29-28, close fight, a little bit of danger maybe in the first or third. All right, man. I don't got much for you guys in this one. Phil Rowe versus Angelus. I got a guy in Phil Rowe who lost to Neil Magny, man. Had an easy path to victory, and I know everybody raves and riffs and rafts about fucking Phil Rowe's his technique, and you know, he's a world beater when he's on. You know, I just don't believe it. I don't care for it, man. You could have the best technique in the world, but if your brain doesn't work, you're not going to be winning fights. It's a mental sport. Making the right decisions is just as important as your technique, way more important. So that's why I see guys like Dricus du Plessis do so well with having this, you know, Captain Underpants technique. So, you know, I'm going to be going and picking Ange Loosa. I'm fading Phil Rowe. I don't care who he fights. I'm picking the other guy. Ange Loosa just looks like a bigger, meaner version of Neil Magny, so makes sense to me. I'm going to go ahead and pick him. I think Phil Rowe will be stupid enough to get into clinch situations and actually play into Ange Loosa's game. And then when he actually has the opportunity to play at range and use some of that nice technique and some of his rangy weapons, he just sit back and, you know, will sit back and not throw out any volume. So I think if you bet on Phil Rowe this week, you're going to be extremely frustrated. I have Ange Loosa winning a close decision here, 29-28. Okay, next up, we've got the barn burner of the night, the real fight, the real main event. Jamie Lynn Horth versus Vanessa Demopoulos. We're picking Jamie Lynn Horth by size advantage, by women's MMA size advantage. That's plain and simple. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. I've missed the game, and I've really missed making these videos, and I genuinely mean that. So I'll be back, and I'll be more consistent than ever. And I just want to prove it. We've got a really hot month coming up in June, so expect me be putting in a lot of work, lots of research being done, and I'll be pumping these videos out for you guys. So hopefully you guys enjoy them, and hope you guys take care. Have a great rest of your week, and I'll get back to you before to give you kind of a gift, a little gift this weekend. Why don't we call it that?